Well, all right. We are back with another episode, another edition. It's a new episode of the Basketball Fiends. I'm Alex, and that's Jesus on the screen. Or if you're listening, he's gonna chime in like right now. Hello.
Yes, this is him. It is Jesus. That's the junior, the one and only. That's a nice welcome. I like that welcome, Alex. That was a very like oof in your face. That was
yeah. I'm trying to switch it up a little bit now. So
yeah.
You know,
for a second, I was like, I did not know that Matthew McConaughey was a guest on this week's episode. For half a second, I was like, wait a minute, what? Blanked out.
Oh my god! Man, I'm trying to think. How did I find out about Matthew McConaughey? Or no, I didn't even know that was like from him. I think it was like the meme or whatever. I think there was a meme of the all right. And then I ended up finding out like that was his thing, and I was like, the hell? I was like, man, I thought this was all cool and like just out of nowhere. But
well, it is cool,
I mean, it still is cool. I just like I was just oblivious to the fact that it was freaking Matthew McConaughey that started that. But yeah, I digress. Well, anyway, yes, it is a new episode of the Basketball Fiends, and we probably should talk about basketball. And what is it? I think it's Thursday. Jesus, I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. It's Thursday. You're probably listening on Friday or whatever day you decide to watch this episode. Watch or listen. Or listen, whatever, because we like to give you guys options. But the series that just most recently wrapped up was that Philly-Miami series. Jesus, how you feeling about that?
I feel like maybe now we have a Basketball Fiends curse because we both picked the Philadelphia 76ers to make the finals. Granted, there was a lot of circumstances that happened in that game. Joe Embiid going down and not being 100%, and James Harden not being James Harden, or even some version of James Harden, and we can get that could be a whole other topic. But it's I want to give praise to the Miami Heat. They're a team, they're a well-oiled machine, and they're going to be a battle for whoever they have to face in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, and I was seeing on Twitter, I would have to confirm, but I guess they were saying that James Harden had the same amount of shot attempts
as Ben Simmons.
As Ben Simmons did last year. And I was just like, that can't be. That's insane.
It's pretty wild thinking, and it's just hard to see, right?
Yeah.
Because, especially from a Houston guy that saw him play so much and put the ball in the hole, which is what he's best at. But yeah, so, but like I said, I think, beyond that, I think the 76ers will come back strong next year.
Right.
Depends what they do with Harden. They may not pay him as much.
But he says he's coming back.
He says he's coming back. Exactly. So Doc Rivers may not be coming back, but that's a different story.
Right. And they were pretty banged up in this series. I mean, Joel Embiid, man, that dude was a trooper. Like, that man just got beat up and still kept playing. Like, bro, like for that episode of SpongeBob where that dude's in like the body cast from that chocolate bar episode, that's Joel Embiid, man, after this series. Because that dude, hey man, just for a guy that I feel like early on in his career, everyone talked about his health and whether or not he can withstand the NBA, which can be brutal at times. And here he is, early on in his career, we were thinking, hey, is this guy even going to be able to play for Philadelphia? And here he is gutting it out in a series against a very good Miami Heat team, just trying to will his team through. And hey, they pulled off 2 games, right? It was 4-2 Miami.
Yep, 4-2 Miami. And look, but it's like I say, I think props to Miami. They went in there and got the job done. And for Philly, they ultimately chose Ben Simmons over Jimmy Butler, and then they just ended up trading Ben Simmons away for James Harden, and you could have had Jimmy Butler. But props to Miami, and like I said, they're going to be a battle for whoever they face in the Eastern Conference Finals, whether it's the Milwaukee Bucks or the Boston Celtics, which they're playing tonight. Which, like Alex already mentioned, you find listeners are listening to on Friday. We're recording Thursday, but so we have Game 6, Bucks Boston, in Fisher Forum. If that's how you say it, so that's a weird name for the arena, because it's like Fisher Forum or something like that to that effect. But anyways, that arena name aside, Bucks Boston Game 6. Alex, what you got?
Fisher.
I think it's for serve.
For serve?
Yeah.
For serve for I mean, all right. You asked about like who I have, but I just got caught up on the name. I was just like, for
I know
serve.
it gets you. It's a tongue twister, I guess you can say.
Yeah. Okay, for serve for him. Anyway, yeah, Bucks Celtics. So that game 5 was nuts for Milwaukee to claw back in Boston, and then freaking Drew Holiday just shutting down the defensive player of the year, which I like. Okay, Kurt, like, feel free to disagree. I don't know why Marcus Smart had the ball in his hands on both of those last possessions for Boston.
I wonder if it was how the Bucks wanted it. Like, maybe the way that they were defending Tatum and Brown, they let Marcus Smart get the ball. But yes, if I'm Boston, I force the ball into either Brown or Tatum. You force it, or even Al Horford. And look, I'm a Marcus Smart fan. On the defensive side, I think he works better as a spot-up shooter, hustle plays, hustle points, things of that nature. He might get you a bucket here and there on the drive, but when it's time to score, I'd rather get the ball into the hands of the two players that have brought you here, that have led you the way and scoring. You force the ball to them somehow, some way.
Yeah. So with that, to my point, or to your question, this is where I think the Bucks and their championship experience ultimately, prevails in this series. I mean, it could very well go to a game 7. I mean, this Boston team is super talented with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown alone. But once again, we can't forget that Marcus Smart is the defensive player of the year, lockdown defender. You got Al Horford, who's having this resurgence again in the series. I guess he really likes, Boston. So, but I mean, I think ultimately you look at this Milwaukee Bucks team, and once Chris Middleton went down, it was like, oh, okay, whoever's playing the Bucks, they may have a chance. And the Bucks had no problem taking down the Bulls, and they're doing what they got to do to fight through this really good Boston Celtics team. And once again, without Chris Middleton, like, they still look like, the team to beat, maybe outside of Milwaukee, or outside of Miami. So I mean, yeah, it's honestly, I feel like it's the Bucks in this series.
I want to say Bucks as well, because of that reason. I feel they're going to want to close them out at home. They shouldn't have won game 5. Let's just put it like that. There was no reason for them to win. They go on an 11-2 run. The Boston Celtics offense just goes stagnate. So I think that I think it's gonna be a close game 6. I'll tell you that much. I think Boston's gonna come back feeling that loss, and they're gonna want to go in there and get it. But I think Giannis, we're going to see a historic performance from him tomorrow. Not unlike the NBA Finals, maybe not for 50 points or whatever he had in that game 6. But I expect him to want to close it out.
Okay.
So I'm going Bucks 6. Bucks
okay.
6. Yeah.
Okay, so I know. All right, so we're both going Milwaukee, but question for you: what scenario could you see Boston pulling out the upset and moving on to face Miami?
If they're able to shut everybody else down, I think they have a chance. Giannis has always been able to get his points, right? But he's always been able to get some help. There was Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis in this last game. I think, and for me, also has to be Boston's offense. They can't just get stagnant. Sometimes they'll go, okay, Jaylen, your turn. Okay, Jason, your turn. Like they just go take turns. So they need to get back to some of that ball movement that they do as well. And I think if they can stay with that and not go away from that so much and use so much ISOs, I think that'll benefit them. And they might be able to steal game 6. Like I said, I think it's going to be a close game. I think a very close game. It might come down to a buzzer beater.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, look, it's already going to a game 6. Like, the series has been good. It's been fun. But I think you and I are both on the same boat that experience is paying off in this series between Milwaukee and Boston. And for now, it looks like it was experience-wise prevailing for the Golden State Warriors against those Memphis Grizzlies, and Golden State had a chance to close it out with a 3-1 series lead. But hey, Memphis just like randomly just stomped Golden State. Like, I mean,
whooped.
Like, it just would, like, when I saw like 50
whooped
points
that team. Whoop that team.
I was like, what the hell? And if you hadn't figured it out by now, our next topic is this freaking Memphis Golden State series, which I kind of thought once Ja was out, I was like, all right, looks like I guess Golden State is probably gonna take care of
business. Away with it.
Right. And all of a sudden Memphis was just like, no. Like,
And look, if you look at the regular season, the Grizzlies had I think 22-2 record without Ja Morant when Ja was out. But I also think they it's almost a sense of pride too. You know, they wanted to get this game no matter what. You know, and they came out from the get-go, and I feel like they punched the Golden State Warriors, and it was such a hard punch that Golden State never really fully woke up back from that one single punch. You know, they kept, and it was just too late. By the time they even had a chance, it was already too late. So, you know, but it's always hard to take away much from games that are that distant, right? You know, it doesn't say that Golden State is not a good team. You know, it happened to be that the Warriors came, that the Grizzlies came out and they won this game. Now, here's can they repeat that performance? And I'm not saying blow out Golden State, but can they repeat and get another victory in Golden State and push it to a game 7? And that's where I find it difficult. I think, you know, Golden State is going to want to close out this series. They're at home, especially after that bad performance in Game 5. You know, and if you look at their history, whenever they've had a bad performance like that, they always come the next game and they immediately make up for it. Right. So as unfortunate as it is for me to say, because I would like to see a Game 7 of this series, I think Golden State's going to take Game 6 tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I once again, I'm kind of riding the bandwagon of a championship experience is honestly what helps and what, you know, solidifies, you know, why championship teams are as good as they are. Whatever adversity they're faced with afterwards, they're able to overcome it. And I think, you know, ultimately with Ja Morant, you know, out, presumably, even if Memphis does move on, he's presumably out for the rest of the playoffs. So, I mean, he has been, you know, probably the biggest factor as to why this Memphis Grizzlies team is as good as they are. Not to discredit anyone else on the team, but, you know, he is the superstar of the Memphis Grizzlies. And granted, Memphis has played well without him in the regular season. This is the postseason where it's, you know, honestly, it doesn't matter at this point, regardless if Memphis lost 2 games without Ja in the regular season. Losing 2 games in the postseason, that could cost you a series. And was it? Well, they already lost 3. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know at this point. I don't know. And I love Memphis. Like, I honestly had them in this series early on.
If Ja doesn't get hurt, which, to be honest, you know, I should really talk about that pool play, you know, the where he broke the code, as Steve Kerr likes to say. You know, in my mind, I was like, how did you even think the knee was the ball? You know, if you look at the slow motions, you know, where Ja, well, they're saying that's not the play where he got hurt, but I'm saying maybe that made it worse, whatever he already had.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, before this series, I have picked the Grizzlies in 7 in a close series, and it have been that so far, you know. And I go back to the first game. You know, if Ja makes that layup, it changes the series completely, right? But I think this season, because I'm already counting the Warriors, because that's my pick for the series, already Game 6 because of the circumstances. I think it's a very successful season for the Grizzlies. They're going to come back next season, and I will not be surprised if they come back and nab the number 1 seed next season.
Yeah, honestly, Memphis this year is kind of like almost how, Phoenix was last year. Last year was the year that Phoenix solidified themselves as a real threat, and they made a run to the finals, you know, eventually losing to the Milwaukee Bucks. But you look at them this year, and they were the best team in the league. And frankly, it could be another Phoenix Milwaukee series again. And honestly, I think Memphis is on that track now where trajectory. This was right trajectory. Yeah. Thank you. I'm like, I know there's a better word for it, where this is sort of like their breakout year, and they only move up the ladder from here. So, I mean, they're definitely an exciting young team, you know, to see. Pretty much homegrown. A lot of these guys,
they're
they
NBA TV
drafted.
must watch.
Yeah.
That's what they have become. But like I said, I think go back to what we said, that championship pedigree that the Bucks have and what the Warriors have is what's going to propel the Warriors to close out the game tomorrow. Maybe Steph Curry, a back-to-back MVP, he'll probably have a good game. And you know who else is a recent back-to-back MVP, Alex? It's one Nikola Jokic, the Joker,
Yes,
who
sir.
he was named the NBA Most Valuable Player this season for the second year in a row. He becomes the 13th player to win the award in consecutive season. He received 875 points, 65 first place votes. In second place, who I thought should have been MVP, was Joel Embiid with 706 points and 26 first place votes. And this is one other tidbit that I thought was interesting. This from NBA.com I found. This is the first time that both the top 3 and 4 of the top 5 finishers in voting for the NBA Most Valuable Player award are international players. So Jokic was 1, Embiid was 2, Giannis Antetokounmpo was 3, Devin Booker was 4, and 5 was Luka
Doncic.
Yeah. So it's an international game, basketball, and,
yeah, man, it's
Jokic,
global.
it's a global game, and I don't know if you saw the video, but all the Denver Nuggets team, they flew.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they surprised him or he knew, but the video I saw, he already knew they were there. So
right.
Yeah, but that was pretty cool. But yeah, but like I said, my pick was Joel Embiid, but I think what happened is they saw that Harden joined the team, and like I said, his production dropped a bit, not because of something he did. It was just for the better of the team.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your thoughts, Nikola Jokic winning back-to-back MVP?
So I don't think Jokic didn't deserve to win MVP.
Right.
I absolutely have no problem with him winning MVP, excuse me. But yeah, I honestly thought this year was Embiid's year to win it. And now kind of seeing, obviously, I mean, they, both Denver and Philadelphia are both of their seasons are over. But yeah, to kind of see how Denver season finished compared to Philly. And granted, yes, James Harden did join Philadelphia, after the trade deadline, and Embiid's production dropped a little bit, but I mean, still, just all year he was a phenomenal player. And I don't know, it was just it's so weird. I have no problem at all with Jokic winning it. I saw it and I was just kind of like, oh, okay. There was a little bit of that surprise where I was just kind of I thought Embiid had it, but I was just I mean, Jokic was pretty damn good too this year. I mean, he had no Jamal Murray, no Michael Porter Jr., and still Denver was a solid team, most in part to him. So I mean, that's why he probably won MVP. If he's not on the Denver team,
right, and of course,
what else?
If you go by the stats too, he had good numbers all season, and from the analytics as well. So it's just a situation where I wonder if people just saw that, because let's be honest, at the beginning of the season, Joel was dead set, and that's who everybody's pick was. Oh, not pick, but everybody was already putting as a front runner because of how strong of a season he had. But then Jokic just was more consistent throughout. I guess if maybe that's what they saw. But I mean,
I feel like we're on the same boat. We're just more curious as to what the thought process was to give it to Jokic, over Embiid. Why? This is why he didn't win and why he won, vice versa. That's just, I think that's where we're kind of just just why.
I mean, his performance increased, from last season to this season. So in back-to-back season, he in points he went up from 26.4 to 27.1. From rebounds, 10.8 to 13.8. So he got 3 more rebounds. His assists dropped by 1. Last year he had 8.3. This year he has 7.9. So, better field goal percentage. I could go down the list, but I won't. Better plus minus. So statistically speaking, he improved from last season. Yeah. Right. But here's where I get mad, right? Not mad. Sorry. I get curious is that I've seen players who have done the same as Jokic, where he improved last season and his team had a great great performance. And he was a 6 seed, right? But that's kind of, I think they were by a couple games, so it was a close seeding. But I think back to James Harden when he had that stellar 4 or 5 year run, but he only got one MVP, and there was that one where I think he averaged 33 points per game, and there was another one where they gave it to Steph Curry, they gave it to Russell Westbrook, and it was just like, I feel sometimes there's stories that the media builds around certain players. They push a narrative, and Joel even kind of approached the subject.
He alluded to it.
He brought up Bill Simmons, and saying people are, craft these stories and build these narratives. And
Ben Simmons or Bill Simmons?
Bill Simmons.
Okay.
He brought up Bill Simmons, the whole Jalen Green situation. It was, people like that get a vote. So. But like I say, it is to balance that, because like you said, Nikola deserves it. So it's not like a complete
right. Like you're not mad at it. You're just like, hey,
here's what I say. I wish I would have done co-MVPs. That's what I would have been fine with, co-MVPs. Yeah. And I don't know why there isn't more co-MVPs. I don't know if they just, the way the votes don't break down like that, but I think that would have been
right. If you want to do kind of like where in baseball, there's the National League MVP, American League MVP. Maybe you have the case where you implement that in basketball, where there's an Eastern Conference MVP and Western Conference, MVP.
Interesting.
Right? Like I'm just, I wonder why.
It's weird. Baseball is the only one that has it, right? Because in the NFL, you'll have one
right. You have that, right? You have one. You have like offensive and defensive player of the year. So that's where. But I'm granted, like baseball, it's totally different sport, a lot more players, and it's like I get why, in the case of baseball, but I'm just curious. Why not maybe
right
in basketball where you have this instance where it's kind of, it's a toss up. It's like, hey, are you, you could make an argument for either or guy. So it's does a co-MVP or an MVP for each conference, does that, diminish it? Is that the reason why, it's just, hey, if, there's just one MVP because that is the sole guy, there's no one, above him or equal to him. But once again, we're having this dilemma where it's like, hey man, they're like right there. It's like, what?
It was close.
Yeah, it's close.
It was very close. It was very close. What award wasn't really close? Well, at least I actually didn't even look at the vote totals, but it was the NBA Coach of the Year, as the Phoenix Sun Monty Williams nabs the Coach of the Year. He's the third Phoenix Suns head coach to win Coach of the Year. And to be honest, Alex, I think it was Monty Williams or bust for me. From the beginning of the season, the Suns were the best team in the league. And I feel like since the season started, they had this chip on their shoulder. Like they have been carrying those 4 straight losses to the Bucks in the NBA Finals ever since the season, ever since they lost. Like they've just been having it right there, right? It's like just these 4 losses sit right there. They were up 2-0 in the NBA Finals, and so I feel like they channeled that feeling in every game this season. And they were and the NBA's best record, a well-oiled machine, even the best well-oiled machine right now in the NBA, in the NBA season. So I think this was a very well deserved for Monty Williams.
Yeah, and I want to say, I was all on like the Phoenix. Still kind of am on the Phoenix train. Like last year, I was like, "Yo, Phoenix, this is the squad," and I wanted Monty Williams to win it last year, but he won it this year. And yeah, I think this was pretty much a no-brainer. It wasn't like our whole MVP discussion. It was like this was Monty Williams' award. Pretty much, it almost felt like from the get-go. I know Taylor Jenkins. I have like the top 3. Taylor Jenkins came in second place with 270 points. Go ahead.
He was up there for me. Yeah. He was up there, like the way he transformed the Grizzlies. But I just feel Phoenix had a little better season. Now, like I said, if next season the Grizzlies get the number 1 seed, Taylor Jenkins should win Coach of the Year.
Right, that's what I mean. Like Memphis is pretty much doing, or it looks like they're on the trajectory of what Phoenix is doing right now. Memphis is what Phoenix was last year. So, and then I think, just to round up the top 3, it was Eric Spoelstra that came in 3rd place. He had 1 first place vote. He had 72 points. Taylor Jenkins had 17 first place votes. And then, of course, Monty Williams, he had the most points at 458 with 81 first place votes. So, I mean, yeah, like it was a no-brainer. Like Monty Williams ran away with this award. And I think, ultimately you saw the success that Phoenix had last year, making a finals run, and be able to carry that into this year and just improve on it even more. I mean, Phoenix was what I think 3-4 years ago was one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, they hired Monty Williams in 2019. That was the year that the NBA season got postponed. Right. They invited the Suns to the bubble for seeding purposes, and they went on that 8-0 undefeated.
They did exactly what they needed to do to make it into the postseason.
It just so happened that the team that needed to lose won, right? But no, and I think that's where you saw the seeds of this Phoenix Suns, was in that season, especially in that bubble, because they were in contention for the playing tournament the whole season.
Yeah.
Not the whole season, but for parts of the season, which is why they went to the bubble, and that was Monty Williams' first season, and then the next season is when they got Chris Paul, and they surprised everybody, and I agree with you. I think he should have won it last year as well, but I think he was in the same situation as Taylor Jenkins was in this season, where we just kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
So Taylor Jenkins, right? That's the coach, Taylor Jenkins.
Yeah.
But no, and it's like I said, it's just a well-deserved award. I'm interested to see. Right now it's Thursday night, as we have said many times. So right now the Phoenix Suns are playing the Dallas Mavericks, and it's currently 75-55. So you find people already know the score. So it looks like we're gonna have a game 7. It looks like. So it's gonna be interesting. I did not expect the game 7. I thought Phoenix Suns was gonna come in here and take care of business and close it out. So it's game 7, and it's a toss-up. But now that we know, wait, should we even say? Maybe there's a comeback. It's in the third quarter. We saw the Bucks. So.
Right. And that's because you said I'm trying to get the score. What was the score? Sorry, I got 72-55.
I got 77-57. It's in the third quarter. 5 minutes.
Mine's behind.
Yeah. Well, I just went to NBA.com.
Oh, okay. I was just like, wait, let me tell, because I got a different score. I was like, say that score again. So yeah, man. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It looks, as of right now, as it stands, the series would go into a game 7,
which would be Sunday.
Yes, it would be Sunday. So yeah, I'm curious as to. I think Dallas is definitely surprised everybody. I would have given Dallas a game 5, a game 6, but yeah, it's a push.
I had them in 6. I had Suns in 6. I thought it was a good experience for the Mavs to be in this round. First time they've been here since 2012, if I'm not mistaken, 2014 or around there. But look, game 7, anything can happen. I'll say Phoenix pulls it off in game 7, and they go up against the Warriors, which that'll be a great series to watch. So yeah, but
that's it.
Our last topic.
Yeah, I guess a quick question for you. For sure. I've heard that the chatter, like, if Dallas is able to pull off this series win and beat Phoenix, does this elevate Luka as a player in the league to a whole nother status, as like, hey, like this dude is like, this is one of those dudes, like, he's a stud. Not that he isn't a stud already, but to be able to lead a Dallas Mavericks team.
He takes another plateau, right?
Right.
He was 5th in the NBA's MVP voting this season, so that says a lot about his trajectory. It's not lost on me that he's playing against the number 1 pick from his draft class. I personally wanted the Suns to take Luka. It definitely does, because if you look at it, Phoenix has more help, I guess you can say. CP3, Devin Booker,
they're a more complete team. Yeah,
they were in the finals last season, and this Dallas Mavericks team is a first-year head coach in Jason Kidd. Luka Doncic, with Jalen Brunson, who's been having an off and on series.
You got Tim Hardaway Jr.
He hasn't really been factoring as much in this.
I know, but I like Tim Hardaway Jr. Okay, I just wanted to say his name. Okay.
Oh, but yeah, no, I think it'll. I think you'll put him in a different light for sure. More than the light that he's already on. Because he already has definitely a spotlight. So it'll just be another spotlight on him.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, Reggie Bullock. I forgot he was on
Reggie
the
Bullock.
Mavs.
Reggie Bullock.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, there's one more guy. Jeez, look at us. Terrible.
Yeah. Oh, and also can't forget Spencer Dinwiddie.
Oh my God, Spencer Dinwiddie's on the Mavs.
That's what they got for Kristaps Porzingis. So.
Yeah, he was a part of that trade.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I think, like I said, I think at the end we'll get in the Western Conference, we'll get Golden State, Phoenix, and then we'll have a hell of a series. And speaking of hell, this was a hell of an episode, Alex. This is the 57th episode of the Basketball Fiends. We're getting closer to the NBA Finals. I think by the next episode, by our 58th, we will know who's in the Western Conference Finals and who's in the Eastern Conference Finals. So that'll probably be a little preview because I think maybe by then there'll be 1 or 2 games under the belt for each series. But any last closing words, Alex?
Man, so yeah, I think it would be Phoenix, Golden State if it goes that way, and then Miami, I would say Milwaukee.
Yeah, 2 good series.
Okay, I'm excited for that. I think that's what I want my conference finals matchups to be.
There we go. I am in the same boat. I would like to see those matchups. So come back next week to listen to us talk about those 2 matchups. And hopefully there's no more Basketball Fiends curse. Thank you so much for listening. And don't forget to subscribe. See ya.
Deuces.